because it's really hot in LA right now, and I only have a 4-fan system where it just circulates the air inside my apartment, and it's like 70 something degrees. But I thought that it'd be a great segue because you just started talking about your paycheck into what we have gathered here to talk about today.
Yay.
Yeah. So hey guys, welcome to this long hiatus of Sorry Asian Parents. I don't know what number this is going to be because it's just been so long since I touched my freaking editing program. Life has been crazy, and so has COVID. COVID is still around, and people are still jobless. So before we go, you guys want to say hi?
Sure.
Lance, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, I'm Lance. I'm Eric's friend and lover.
Hey, and I'm Garrett, and I'm Eric's friend. Jealous, not his lover. Why don't am I not including these things now? What's going on?
You could
Eric,
be.
how come you don't text me back? You Lance
Hey.
now, and all of a sudden we're over. Is that what it is?
Hey, that's what you get for being married, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, does
Hey,
that.
it's 2021, man.
You know the
Yeah.
rules. If you put the ring on, I can't see you because you go invisible.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
gosh.
So what were you saying earlier about your paycheck? Because we were just earlier before we started recording and going, we were talking about living in shitty apartments like mine, like my 250 square foot in K-Town in LA. So it's a troll hole. I'm not gonna lie. These
Dude.
false walls make it look a lot bigger than what it is, or else it would have some weird anime American Pie posters in the background. My two loves. And Britney Spears, no, her I don't want to touch that because she's I'm gonna leave her alone. She's dealing with her own demons. I'm gonna leave her alone.
Leave Britney alone.
That's
I'm
fair.
gonna leave Britney alone. She's dealing with her own demons. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're telling us about your first paycheck and in the shitty apartment.
Yeah, we were talking about shitty apartments and what a transformative experience they are, and like how fun they are. So I'm sure people listening can think about their own, like your first shitty apartment and like what that means. It's like a better version of your first car.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I remember like my first shitty apartment was in Bakersfield, California. And like even before that, I was like Craigslisting and living off of people's like renting rooms and whatnot. So I remember like having my own space in a piece of shit apartment, and how much it sucked in a fun way looking back on it. Like when you're in it, you're like, this kind of sucks, but everyone's in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just how much fun that was.
Yeah, I feel like I had a really shitty apartment as well in Van Nuys, California, which is not the best, not the worst, but there was definitely hookers walking by my parking spot, to say the least.
So at least you had a view.
Too much of a view, I'd say. I'd get home late from work, and they're like knocking on my window, and I'm like scared me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like get away! Like oh my god,
I like dick.
like night walkers. Yeah, literally. But yeah, and then I also realized too that I was also hosting friends quite often in my early 20s when this was happening. Like my spot was kind of the place to go to after work to kick it, or on the weekends. Like I always loved having people over. So, and a lot of them lived with their parents. So even at that time, felt like my place, my shitty little apartment was like their refuge away from their parents to like chill and relax, drink, smoke, whatever, So it's, I don't know, you're right. When in the moment, I was like, God, I can't wait to get a better place. But at the same time, we were living our best lives and doing what we needed to do.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Do you remember hosting? Like how much of an adult you felt when you were hosting your friends? Like, yeah, like there's chips in the thing, and like,
there's beer in the fridge. Like, use a fucking coaster. I just got this coffee. Like, I remember buying my first piece of furniture. It was a fucking coffee table,
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. Like, or no, it wasn't a coffee table. It was a leather fucking futon couch, which like I was really obsessed with leather and like glass tables for some reason. Like that was my aesthetic in my early 20s, and I don't know. I loved it. I had cup holders in the center. Like it just felt, I don't know. I was like, wow, I was so proud to have bought this like, $200 couch.
Because it's yours.
Because it's mine.
And
Yeah.
it's in your living room now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary, you didn't enjoy the those parties that I threw back in college?
Everyone
is
needs
pre-
to go
this is
through
pre-
that. We're talking about phases of life.
This is pre-frat house, by the way, because I know Lance came to the cheese when I was in the frat house. It was, you're right, I enjoyed those times, but it was filth. Except the park was a little bit cleaner, but the frat house was definitely filth. Not only was the house filth, but so were the boys in it, and the things we did.
But like, yeah, I mean, you're 19, you're 20, you're living in a city with 700,000 people packed in 7 square miles. Like, that's just growing up, and like,
yeah. Everybody has their first rodent or their first like roach or something.
Yep.
And it's so fucking horrifying in that moment. You're like, either I'm gross or my neighbors are gross, or like we're both gross. Like something is up and it needs to change.
Everyone is gross.
Like everybody
in
is
their own way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like I can get roaches out of my place, but they come back because y'all motherfuckers is gross.
Yep.
So that's a very adult experience, or even using a mouse trap to kill a mouse and actually having that shit like splat, like pick it up, like that is like a coming to age. Like, this is like, there's nobody out here that's gonna come pick this shit up,
No, it's all you.
Yeah.
It's all you.
Well, luckily, if you grew up in poverty, this would be a housewarming experience. Thank you, immigrant parents, for taking me to the trap house. But
shout out.
But that's true though. It depends on how you're raised, right? Because I definitely met some people in college that like never took out the trash before, never even loaded a dishwasher. And I was just like, this is crazy. But I also went to like Santa Monica College, like a city college that's like super wealthy environment, where there's like Maseratis and shit in the parking lot. And I'm like, aren't we all like 18 to like 22-ish, for the most part?
Well, I think I know for like most Asian families, they have a dishwasher. It's called the children.
Right.
But like if you go to, I'm really in Visalia, like some of the guys, like we don't really use our dishwasher because we're just so used to using our hands to cleaning it.
Totally.
And like using a dishwasher in San Francisco was like a new experience for me because I just, felt comfort doing dishes by hand. It was just something that I always did. So we always keep the clean dishes in the dishwasher. Like, yeah, I mean,
you never actually put them away.
Yeah, right? Those of you in Visalia, if you go to your Asian friend's house, check the dishwasher, see what you see.
That's where all the clean dishes
are. We just leave it there, and we put all like the nice stuff in the cupboards because we don't use
it
because they break. And yeah, it's just like we did what we had to do because we were broke and we were poor. We were just working random jobs. I know I worked at fucking Abercrombie for 10 years at the time $13 an hour, which I didn't even know how I survived. And then eventually, after graduating, I decided to be a bartender and server for about, I think, 7 years of my life.